Hey there, this is Teresa from Skills U, here to discuss or help you learn more about the 8 basic parts of speech. Today in this lesson we're going to be talking about the first 5. We're going to be talking about nouns, pronouns, verbs, and modifiers. Now I know that sounds like just 4, but remember the modifiers are divided to 2 groups, so that makes it 5. So let me share this screen with you. Okay, so 8 basic parts of speech: nouns, pronouns, verbs, and modifiers. They all work together just like these wheels do, just like these keys in the wheels do. Okay, so nouns. Nouns come in 4 different sections, I guess you'd say, or 4 different ways. There's person. It's a man, woman, girl, boy, Ms. K, Mr. B. I threw those in there because if it's a proper noun, like it's the name of something, you're going to always capitalize it. Otherwise, it's just an improper noun that doesn't have capitalization, just kind of like a general noun. Then you have places, which can be the same thing as like person, where you have school, state, house, park, college. Those are just some examples. But Arby's is the name of a restaurant. Now, the word restaurant would actually be an improper noun, or would not need capitalization. But because Arby's is the specific name of a restaurant, it does need capitalization. And the same goes with like college, park, anything that has specific identification. So, like if it's Yosemite Park, you're going to capitalize not only the name Yosemite, but also the word park, because it goes together. If it's Livermore Elementary School, you're going to capitalize the L in Livermore, the E in elementary, and the S in school, because it's all part of it. So, okay, and then the other type of noun is thing. Those are usually just general nouns. You never really capitalize those. Those are just the things like ball, car, computer, phone, TV, movie, that sort of thing. Ideas, though, that's another noun. Now, these are kind of new to, not really new, but, it's only just been discovered or decided upon in the last several years, probably about 10 years now at least, probably more. But anyway, the point is idea. Now, all the other nouns, you can see them, you can touch them, you can feel them. You can, with people, person, you can even interact with them. But with a dream and wind and a thought, they're considered to be nouns even though you can't see them. Sometimes, like with wind, you can feel it come across your arms or whatever. You can see the effects of it though, like in the trees, the leaves blowing in the wind. A dream is something that, you can either, it's something like a goal, or it's also something that you have at night or during the day. You dream, but you can't touch it. You may feel the effects of it, but you can't touch it. You can't really see it visually. You see it in your mind. And the same with a thought. You might have a thought about something, but you can't touch it. You can't feel it. It may leave you with a feeling, and you can't really see it, even though you may see it in your mind, but you can't see it with your eyes. So that's the difference between these nouns. Pronouns are important because they take the place of a noun. If you're not careful, you could end up with the example here where it says John took John's son by the school on John's way to work this morning. Well, this has an example of not just why pronouns are important, but also the fact that we're going to be correcting this using gender agreement. And also, if you notice, whose son is this? This is John's son. So that makes John's possessive. So, but this is too much though, don't you agree? John took John's son by the school on John's way to work this morning. We have John, 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 John. Why don't we try replacing some of those Johns with a possessive or just another kind of pronoun? So we can say John took his son by the school on his way to work this morning. Makes it read a lot easier, doesn't it? So that's why we use pronouns. Now, verbs we have 3 different types of. There's the action verb like running, walking, speaking, things that are happening right now. My dog, he likes to bark, so he would be barking. Those are things that are going on. Those are action verbs. Then you have linking or state of being verbs. Those verbs are important too. They don't show any action though, but what they do is they link the subject of the sentence to the predicate part of the sentence. So as in the example before, I said, John is taking his son to school. Is would be a linking verb. It also can be used as this next one too, helping verb, where it goes, it's like it's helping the main verb. So is taking. Is would be the auxiliary verb or the helping verb. Taking would be the main verb. Also, verbs have tenses. They have past, which usually end in ed, present, which usually end with ing, and future, which usually has a helping verb. And also, of course, in our English language, we have verbs that don't need these things because they are spelled differently. Those are called the irregular verbs, like run and ran. He ran yesterday. Well, we're not going to put an ed on it, even though we know it's past tense. And if he's running today, we add the ing to it, but we double the consonant in. And if he's going to do it tomorrow, we'll add an auxiliary verb with it. We'll say he will run tomorrow. So John ran yesterday. He is running today. He will be running tomorrow. Okay, so that's how we use those verbs. Now, here are the last two we're going to talk about today. Modifiers. The first part we're going to talk about are adjectives on your left side of your screen. Those are the words that modify or describe nouns and pronouns. Modifying is describing something. So we're using John again. John is tall. So John is the subject. Is the linking verb. And tall is describing John. So it's an adjective. John is a noun. John, my son, has brown hair. So here we have John, and then we have a phrase, and it's called an adjectival phrase. So that would mean that it's just more than one word that's describing a noun. Here, my son is telling you who John is. So John being my son, it's separated with commas, and we know it's describing John. Just adding a little bit more information about it. Has here is the linking verb in this sentence. It doesn't show action or anything, but it's linking the subject to the predicate. John, my son, has brown hair. What color hair does he have? Brown. Brown is an adjective, is describing hair. The next sentence is pretty much similar to what we were talking about, only it's talking about a car instead of hair. John's car is red. So it's a possessive noun. It's possessed, it's owned by John. But what color is it? It's red. That makes red an adjective describing describing the car, not John, the car. Okay, so then adverbs. Adverbs modify or describe verbs, adverbs, and adjectives. So what adverbs do, they add a little bit more information to the verb that's in the sentence. So adverbs, let's look at this first sentence. John drove his car fast. Okay, so John's the subject. What did he do? This is an action verb. He drove. It's one of those irregular verbs. He drove. What did he drive? His car. Okay, car being the noun there, but yet fast doesn't relate to the noun because we're looking at adverbs. Fast talks about how he drove. So John drove fast. John drove his car fast. The second sentence gives us a little bit more information. We're adding another word to it. We're adding the word very. And very is another adverb. It's giving us a little bit more information about how fast he drove. He drove very fast. And we're also using an adjective to go ahead and describe the car. We already know it's a red car, but we just added that in there too. So very is the adverb describing the adverb fast, describing how he drove. Then the last sentence, we're using adverbs to describe not just how he drove, not just the not just how fast he drove, but also we're going to use adverbs to describe the adjective that describes the car, the noun. So John drove his bright, which is an adverb, red car very fast. Bright is telling us how red it was, and very is telling us how fast he drove that bright red car. So as you can see, I really love diagramming sentences, so we're going to be doing a lot more of this, but I think it's important for you to understand, it is important for you to understand how these words play into your sentence structure so that when you get ready for this on your test, you'll be more aware of it. And also when you do the written part of the test, it's going to help you a lot in expressing your thoughts on the topic that they give you to write about. So anyway, so I hope you have a great day. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll continue the rest of the 8 parts of speech, 8 basic parts of speech in the next video. You have a great afternoon. Stay safe. Remember, you can look for us on Facebook at SkillsU, and then you can also look on SkillsU. JCTC Skills U, I apologize for that. JCTC Skills U, and also on YouTube on Skills U Online. Or you can give us a call at 502-213-5212. You have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.